you know, pet peeves of fans that I have.
Oh,
So we'll get to it.
I love it.
All right, so where do you want to start?
Man, so
You go first.
let's talk about this topic for a little bit because I love what are we going to talk about today?
Pet peeves, like sports pet peeves. So things that in most of mine are like broadcasters, what they say that bother me or annoy me.
And I know we each have a pet peeve list of this.
You
So
hear them all the time. And yeah, I have a long list. So we probably won't get half of them. But yeah, there's so many things that just bug the crap out of me. And, you know, you watch a lot of sports and then you hear a lot of stuff over and over and over again. And a lot of stuff just drives you bonkers. So this will be a good like outlet for me to get this out of my system because I always say it, and then like everybody that like lives in my house is sick of hearing me.
like, did you know that Peyton Thorne and Jaden Reed played for the same?
I have that on this. That's on my notes.
The same reoccurring story that pops up over and over and over again.
Like, I'm not sure if you know this, but Clayton Kershaw and Matthew Stafford.
I didn't know you knew this.
This is new information for everybody. So, all right, I'm gonna start with like football. Now, here's a big one. And when I was looking this up, a lot of people on Reddit were saying the same thing, and I was like, oh, good, I'm not the only one. And I've never heard anybody else talk about this, but when the broadcasters say the receiver caught the ball at its highest point. Okay, the highest point when you throw a football is at the apex of the throw, like halfway in between the thrower and the receiver. No one's catching it 60 feet up in the air. They're catching it at their highest point. The player jumping's highest point is what they're trying to say, but they say at its highest point, like the ball's highest point.
Nope.
Not even close to that. And that got a bunch of replies. So that is one of mine that is like, oh my God, drives me nuts. Now, I don't hear it as much lately, but for a long time, that was like a huge thing that they would always say. I'm like, what are you talking about at its highest point? Like, how is nobody noticing this? Or like when the broadcaster says something dumb and the other one doesn't like call him out on it.
I do. See, that'd be me. I'd be like, what do you mean by that? Let's expound upon that. There's just so many just vague statements that commentators make, you know, like they just wanted it more.
Yeah. You're right. Yep. I was just watching something about that where they're like, really? They want it more? No, they don't.
No.
Everybody's trying their absolute hardest they possibly can. This is their lives. They're making millions of dollars. They have everything invested in this. No one's trying hard. I mean, I guess it happens every once in a while, but the vast majority of the time that doesn't happen. Okay, I got another one. I'm gonna let you go too.
No, this is good. I love them.
After a player hits a three, like he shoots a 3-pointer, like a big guy, usually he's one of the center or whatever, and then the announcer goes, "He can do that."
I have that written down. He can do that. That's hilarious.
We're on the same wavelength. Well, no shit, he just did it.
He just did it.
So that is, oh my God.
Remember Marcus Bingham? Like,
of course.
Marcus Bingham could hit threes in high school. I remember watching him. I've watched all of his video and film before he got to Michigan State, and he was a 3-point shooter before he got to Michigan State. But I think he shot like, we could probably look at his career stats. He probably shot like 15% from three all 5 years that he was at Michigan State. And every time he'd shoot a three and make it, they would say, you know, he can do that.
He can do that.
Like, kinda, but not really. Like he can because he just did, but not at a high efficiency level.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. We went to a women's basketball game one time, and he was like behind the bench at Michigan State, behind the basketball hoop, and he was cheering, going bananas. He was such a great cheerleader for the women's basketball game. That's what I remember the most about him. And him and AJ Hoggard, those two were really supporting the ladies out there. That was good.
Oh, that's awesome. You don't see that very often. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. How about this? This is a physical defense. Because like my whole point with that is there has to be like a counter argument or like somebody who isn't that thing. Like everybody's defense is physical. What I would really want to hear a broadcaster say is, boy, this defense is not physical at all. These guys are not. No, that'd be interesting. But saying that they're physical or they need to be physical or something, like everybody's physical. Everyone's, there's, scheme can be a problem, or, there's different things. You could have injuries, but everyone's like going to physically play the football game.
And see, it's not hard. And I guess what is the biggest pet peeve about it is it's not hard to be original. I think about like Tom Izzo, if he's berating a defensive player, he said this about Trey Ford at the beginning of the season. He's like, I need Trey Ford to guard one of the people out on this court, and it can't. And one of those people is not my 95-year-old grandma. And I'm like, why can't commentators say that kind of thing? Like, he can't guard a traffic cone. Like that would be,
yeah, that would catch my attention.
That would catch my attention.
Absolutely. How about this, Jason? In football, when they start doing like no huddle or they're kind of going quickly, they're showing tempo. They're going tempo. To me, tempo is anything. It can be fast. Tempo can be slow. But just running tempo isn't a thing. Like that tempo is just describing, like, it's like saying velocity. He throws the ball with velocity. Well, high velocity or low velocity? So up tempo, faster tempo, but just saying tempo could be anything. So
he's throwing it with volume, like low volume, high volume. I don't know.
Yeah, what kind of tempo? Oh, they're going tempo. They go slow. Oh, they're going tempo. You never hear that. I think that would also work. Tempo is not high tempo. That's what you could say. That's what they're trying to say. I don't like that one.
Oh man, let's see. It's a must win. You literally said that. We can't even say that on the show unless it's a statistical thing. It's a must win.
I love that. Yeah, it has to be statistically a must win game. Like the Lions game yesterday. Technically it was not a must win. But like in that case, but like a lot of times, everything's a must-win. Like even like the second game of the season, if they lose the first one, people say the second game's a must-win. Absolutely not.
No,
it's not even close to a must-win.
Things can change so much.
I know. Yeah, with the momentum of the season, all kinds of stuff can come. So yeah, it's not a must-win until it is.
I started my fantasy league this year 1-7, and I still made the playoffs.
What?
Last year, 2 years ago, I started my season 1-5, and I won the championship.
Well, you're a little.
I'm apparently I'm not a good drafter.
Oh, that's the best part.
That's the best part. I'm really, really good at signing free agents throughout the year.
Okay.
Revamping my team, kind of figuring it out throughout the season.
I've noticed sometimes when I try to sign free agents, it lets me have them right away. And then other times I got to go through waivers or like you got to wait a few days. I don't
get that rule.
Difference.
I don't either.
Because sometimes I'm like, oh, great, he's on my team. Boom, like right away. And then other times you got to like, nothing happens. Like it says I have some pending stuff. Like I got to wait for other people not to sign him or whatever, like I'm low on the waiver way or something like that. I'm not sure.
If someone knows the answer to why that happens, I'd love to know. I picked up a defense at the end of the year, and I was like, oh, yeah, I got him. And I'm like, no, it says I got to wait until Sunday to know if I got him or not.
And I hope I don't have to do anything later. Like, hopefully they just I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Like they'll show up on our team eventually once they pass through waivers, I think is what's happening.
Yeah.
But like no one's gonna.
But what is the designation? Why does that person have to wait through the waivers? Exactly. I don't understand.
And then I know that earlier in the season, I remember I like signed or whatever I did. Yeah, I picked somebody and he was on my team right away. I was like, this is okay.
Yeah.
And then other times it doesn't happen. You got to wait. So I don't quite understand the difference.
I know. I don't. I feel like they must have just got cut and somebody cut them with like exception. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It might be different rules per fantasy team too. Might be an issue. But I'm like the opposite of you. I started out great. I won like 10 of my first 11 or something. And then I've lost. I lost again this week, or I'm going to lose this week unless who is it? Whoever, I think one of my running backs is playing this. Oh, Jonathan Taylor. If Jonathan Taylor gets like 70 points, I win.
It could happen, I guess. JTT.
That was like earlier in the season. I needed George Pickens to fumble 8 times, and I was gonna win, or something even more. And he didn't.
And he didn't. Shocker. Spoiler alert. He did not fumble 8 times.
Yeah. George.
Speaking of George, it's really funny because you brought this topic up on last Tuesday, and I went to basketball, and somebody brought up George Blaha, which is funny because it's just random. And his other guy turned around and was just instantly like ready to go off on George Blaha. And he was like, yeah, he was just kind of like, he was ready to jump into the conversation. So they started talking, and I'm like, it's so funny because I told him you just had this conversation. He's like, tag me in if you guys talk about this. I want to send it out to my friends. And I remember texting you probably about a year ago and was like, unpopular opinion, but I hate George Blaha. And you responded back and you're like, that's an unpopular opinion. And I'm like, ah. And that's what when I was like, man, I want to do a podcast about this stuff, but that you're the first person I thought of because I feel like we have that same kind of like even the commentators, we have the same kind of pet peeves as far as that goes.
It sounds like it, yeah. George, I'm trying to think of some of his.
Count that baby in a foul. Yeah. That's the number one thing he has.
There's so many.
That'll be his legacy.
2 and 20. He'll say like the minutes and seconds. 2 and 20 left in the third or whatever. So he's.
I was trying to listen to him objectively, and I think everybody has their skills and talents. And George has been doing this. This is his 50th year, and like. Usually there's nostalgia. Like I had so much nostalgia for Ernie Hartwell, for like Al Kaline and George Kell back in the day. Those were good commentators. Yeah. And George, I haven't hated him until recently, but I think maybe it's just because he's like gotten old. I think the other thing that really angers me about George is, man, you've been doing this for 50 years. Like you saw everything there is to see with the Pistons. Like everything there is to see in their history, you've seen from the 70s till now.
Yeah.
And there's no stories. There's no like, he doesn't give you anything of relevance.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he's not like, he doesn't seem approachable. Or he's like on. He's like a character the whole time when he's talking. He doesn't just like sit back. He doesn't like just sound like a normal person. He just is like this robotic play-by-play guy the whole time.
And I've never thought such about a homer. He's like the grandpa that's commentating the games. Like he's never going to go and say their defense sucks. Like they went up on that big losing streak, and he wouldn't say a bad thing about them. Yeah. Like he wouldn't say they're not playing well. Yeah. Like they'd be down by 30, and he would have the same voice. Like, oh, they're gonna
they cut it to 27. Yeah. Like he gets all excited, and then everything is like overly positive, and it's like, come on, just be real, be like, tell us what you think, or tell us really what's happening.
Exactly.
But all those like Fox Sports, and then it was FanDuel or Bally, and they all like that, and that's like a big, people realize that, and people have called them out on the carpet about that. Is like how so overly homerish they are. Like you can't be, because that's just it's just a regional network, but they're so overly over the top positive, and like have their blinders on. They're like not oblivious, but they refuse. In baseball, the Tigers, when they're terrible, they refuse to say anything negative, which is, it turns people off because it just seems so fake.
It really does. It's fake, especially when you have a horrible team out there. Like
like the Pistons 2 years ago.
Yeah,
when they were like the worst team in NBA history, and they just wouldn't. I mean, very rarely would they say anything negative at all, which is like insane. You come across as being like there's like fake and it's not credible.
And you can see Detroit fans, like you can see with the Lions loss, and like people are already calling for Dan Campbell to be fired, which to me is the craziest thing in the world. Do you not remember what life was like a few years ago? Do you not remember this? The season's not turning out how we want, but there are so many like fickle fans, and so we don't necessarily want to hear the rainbows and lollipops all the time. And I think that's what turns people off so quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Lions, that was a tough one yesterday.
Yeah,
but
man.
We just watched the first half, and then we were downtown Detroit. But yeah, that was tough, man. I can't believe they. I mean, a lot of it's their offensive line.
Well, yeah.
When you're starting Kingsley Ekugan, that might be.
But really, it comes down to just play some defense. And, you know, it's also very hard because I think as fans, we expect for like the backup guys to step in and be like Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, and it's just not going to happen. So you're going to have some limitations, but you know, offense is the interesting thing. So it's easy to blame them. It's easy to like blame Goff or the offensive, but they scored last week. They scored 35 points and lost.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're not being able to, they weren't able to run the ball at all yesterday, that's for sure. They had 12 carries for 15 yards, I think. But yeah, their defense, they're just, when you got Thomas Harper out there, and I mean, they're doing their best they can, but they just don't have the talent, you know, like Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch do. That, you know, Brian Branch is an absolute stud, and then Kirby Joseph had the 9 interceptions to lead the league last year. So when you don't have that stuff, it makes a big difference for sure.
Well, and then to tie that into like how commentators and in the press annoy me is like how your fractions from a win or a loss. I mean, it comes down to the last couple plays, and it's like you'll see a night and day difference between the winner and the loser. The winner, like they've got this, everything's perfect.
Yeah,
they did everything perfect. You know, like this mindset, and then the loser, like everything is drastically so much worse on the other side. Like. There was just fractions that allowed for that one team to win or the other, and the press make it sound like these two teams are on completely different islands.
Especially in the NFL, when it's just like the talent level is so close, the parity is so close that any tiny little first down that they don't make or anything tiny, just it's so the differences are so insignificant that. And then the next day, everybody's all bitching if their team loses and overly praising. So, no, I mean, people have come up, like different radio stations have shows have like Overreaction Monday, you know. So I think that's because they know that everyone's going to overreact either way, especially in football.
Yeah.
And then baseball, you know, is also very similar to that, where there's the talent level is also pretty close. Basketball might be the farthest, might have the biggest amount of variance between the talent levels, but still in professional sports, it's also really close.
I tore down George Blaha a little bit, but then I'll give a shout out to somebody that I really like, Pat McAfee.
Okay, yeah.
I like Pat McAfee, and you can see him kind of rising because he just does things differently. But I love. I was watching the Saturday for college football, and you have like Nick Saban and all these guys giving their predictions, and it's all like straight laced. And then you have McAfee that like stands up and does this whole like gets the whole crowd going. Okay. Like, but even when he's doing his interviews, I feel like he asks like real questions as opposed to like.
I gotta watch him a little bit more. I just know that he's super like excited and like doesn't sit when he does this podcast. He stands, and I know he was a former NFL punter, right, with the Colts, I think. So yeah, he has one of the most well-known podcasts, successful podcasts and stuff, and yeah, he's a rising star for sure.
Well, that's what's cool with podcasting is obviously he's a punter and he has connections and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, if you have a personality and you have some good content, you can really climb the ranks no matter who you are. And then look at, he's now at this point where he's making more money than most of the people at ESPN.
Really? How do you know that?
Because when he got signed, Stephen A. Smith was all pissed that he was making more money than him.
Really?
And yeah.
Poor Stephen.
But to the point, like, it's not hard to be different. It's not like this stuff that we're talking about that annoys us. I'm sure it annoys everybody, which is like, I'm like, yeah, let's go talk about this stuff because, and if you avoid doing that and you can find a way to get outside of the box, I think you're really well received.
Another thing that sticking with football is when they say the players are they communicate. They like to use big words. They're not talking. They're communicating. They're not players or people. They're individuals. They got to use the 5-syllable word. The individuals are communicating out there. The people aren't talking.
Yep. They're not talking.
There's an eternity on the clock. There's an eternity. There's a minute 12 left. They have an eternity to score. That's another one that I don't like. Yeah, I mean, there's exactly a finite amount of time left, actually.
This possession is huge. They don't need a 3 here.
But he can make that. He can make that.
He can make it.
He can do that. Here's another one. And I found this online. I can't take credit for this, but on Reddit I found somebody said when there's lots of room for a running back to get through the hole, the commentators will often make a comment like, you could have driven a truck through that hole.
Yeah.
Trucks can flatten people.
You could drive a truck through
it anyway.
No hole.
Yeah. There could be literally no blocking at all, and you'd still have no problem driving a truck through the backfield into the end zone. I like that one.
That is hilarious.
I've never thought of that, but yeah. I think they're talking about how wide the. Yeah, I'm going to be overly literal here, but like they're talking about the width of the hole. Where you could
literally drive a truck through
and not hurt anybody is what they mean, I think.
That hole is so big. No, so they got to reposition how they say it. That hole is so big that you could drive it through it and not touch anyone.
If everyone like stands still, if the blocks hold.
If the blocks hold, you could theoretically drive that truck through that hole without touching anybody.
Yeah, so like I'm being too literal. That's the way I view the world, is like sort of in like a literal lens. And the funny thing about that is I hate it when people say literally when they're literally when it's not literal.
It's not literal. If you remember Anthony Ianni, he played at Michigan State. He was the only that we know on the autistic scout D1. Anyways, I read his book a couple of years ago, and he was talking about like growing up with autism. And people would say it's raining cats and dogs, and he'd run to the window to look for the cats and dogs because like they don't interpret, like. So to think of this stuff, like people on the spectrum, when you say like they can drive a truck, it sounds funny to us because we know and we can interpret that they don't mean that literal. But like when you're looking at people that interpret that as literal, like they're picturing a truck driving through these people.
That's funny. I remember hearing about that. I remember he was on the state team. He never really played, but I believe he was from Okemos, and he was a big guy. And I heard about it later that he had autism and stuff. That's really remarkable. Good for him.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about him too much when he played at the time. But I actually got to speak with him at an event. We spoke at the same event. Oh, cool. And then I connected him with a friend of mine, and he ended up speaking at another event. Super cool, nice guy. Him and Draymond Green were really good friends. So
was that about the same time at Michigan State?
They were there at the same time. In fact, have you this was on this week again. Have you seen the Big Ten special show, the Kiss the Floor or whatever?
Yeah, just a tiny bit of it. I thought it was about I just saw like 30 seconds of it with Mateen kissing the floor. And I guess it had been a long time because I believe Sean Restford started that. And then did they not do it for a while and then Mateen brought it back?
Yeah. So like in the show, they talk about how Sean Restford, like it was an impromptu thing, and it was just kind of so like the history of it is, Sean Restford was there. The Fab Five had notoriously rubbed their asses on the Sparty. Oh, I didn't know that. And so like as he was leaving, it was kind of like a symbolism of like, I earned this. This is like, like I'm Spartan, blah, blah, blah. And so it was just impromptu and he did it. And then he wasn't, what they said is he wasn't necessarily, it didn't catch on. Right. Nobody really thought like, oh, I should do that too. And then when Mateen came out in his senior year, they beat Michigan by like 50 points or something. Mateen had 20 assists in that game. It's still a Big Ten record to this day for most assists in a game.
Oh, yep, I saw that part. Yep.
And then as you said, he was walking off, he was like, he remembered Sean Restford and he was like, I'm going to make this a tradition. And then Mateen had enough, like, he was a legend, like he was pop culture icon, and we talked about that in the last time in the Lost episode with no sound. But like when he did it, it caught on, and then everybody started doing that and continuing the tradition.
Yeah. Resper was one of my favorites. He went to the same high school as my wife's parents, Bishop Borges High School.
No way.
Parrish Hickman also went there, who played at Michigan State a little bit before. I think it was a little bit before Resper. So yeah, okay. So Resper, I'm like crazy when it comes to this basketball. I know a lot about this Michigan State basketball in the 90s. So Respert graduated, or his last year was 95. And Mateen's last year was 2000. So it went 5 years. I guess without anybody kissing the floor. And then after that, they all the seniors did it, right? After 2000?
Yep. Now it's a year, it's a thing. And they had, they feature, I don't know, I want to say like 5 different people in it. Nah, it's an emotional one. It's an emotional.
Really?
They do, they start off with Sean Respert and then Mateen Cleaves and then Draymond and then Steven Izzo, which is a really good one in itself. This kid is just Michigan State through and through, obviously. Adrian Payne, which is a sad one. Man, just kind of a sad life.
Yeah. So when I ran in the Izzo run this year, the 5K at Michigan State in April, Steven Izzo I think he was up I think he might have even started the race, but he was up like on a truck or something with a few other people with a megaphone. I think he's, ready, set, go kind of thing, or he was like making announcements and stuff like that. So he was participating in that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a great event. There's a lot of fast runners in that. People like zipping past me. It's all college kids, so like not all, but like there's more college kids in that type of thing. So
yeah. Man, you talk about that Respert. Sean Respert was my favorite. I remember him freshman year. He's one of the rare freshmen that came in and contributed. He could shoot from that. And his shot was just pretty. Yeah. We got 4 years of that all through the Fab Five because he came in. He was there the same time the Fab Five was there.
And he actually played, one of the rare kids that played 5 years in Michigan State. He played a little bit his redshirt year, but not enough to like. A little enough to be able to do 4 more years. And he was like one of their leading scorers his freshman year. And then he was, I'm sure, the leading scorer the rest of the 3 years.
The rest of 3
years. With
Eric
Snow, who was awesome, who coincidentally could not shoot. So we had like a really good shooter. And then, especially in free throws, of course.
But remember how much he improved in free throws? I remember his freshman year, he shot like 13%. It was bad. But then by the end, he was like an 80% shooter, I want to say.
He was, He ended up, he worked really hard.
And then who would have guessed he would have had the longer pro career?
By far, a lot. He was with the Cavs and was much better.
Cavs, he played with the Sixers for a long time, too.
Did he?
He played with Iverson in that year that they went to the finals. Him and Aaron McKee and Dikembe Mutombo.
That's interesting. Yeah, he was. I really liked him. I got an autograph from him when we how'd that go? I don't know. I was in middle school and I remember going down and I got his autograph on something. So that was exciting. And now is that his son or who's on the Michigan State football team now? Is that I can never remember if that's him.
I was racking my brain over what his name is. What is his name?
Darius.
Darius Snow. Yeah,
because Eric's brother was Percy Snow, who was a little bit older and played football and was excellent and played for the Chiefs and then but he was on the road, probably the best defensive player on a great defensive team.
Yeah, he won the linebacker with the Outlander Award or whatever. And then he was a first-round pick.
Yeah, he was awesome. And the best defensive player, middle linebacker for the 87 Rose Bowl Michigan State team.
Yep.
He was, Harlan Barnett was on that team, ended up being assistant, whatever, came in when Mel Tucker did his thing. So
Tuck coming. Isn't that the worst slogan you could ever come up with though? When you go and do what you do, Tuck coming. I'm that's did he hit Brenda Tracy with that at the end? Tuck coming. Tuck coming.
That was ironic for sure, or whatever.
When you texted me about Sherrod Moore, I'm like, I joked around about there's Mel Tucker, but I didn't think the situation would be.
So was I the first person to tell you?
Yeah.
I love that.
I know, it's always great.
I love breaking the story. I'm trying to think if I think I just saw it online. But
I was going into a meeting. I was like, what? Did they fire him because he lost to Ohio State? And you're like, no, this
Same thing. I remember I was in a car. For some reason, Sarah was driving, and we were on like M59 going through Waterfordish area, and I opened up something up, and it said Mel Tucker probably has coached his last game at Michigan State. I'm like, what? Why?
Yes.
And I never that never even dawned on me that it'd be something like, making what it was. Not.
Imagine the thought process in that. Like, what is? I don't know. That's crazy.
It's Man, yeah, and like that's one of those deals when it's that bad. It's like it'd be hard to even get an assistant coaching job. I think after that, like if you go down, I mean, Sharon took it to another level.
Sharon burnt the whole house down, literally. Like I
God.
can't even believe he's not touchable to go work at another job. He can't go do anything else.
Yeah, he's. I mean that he's up against some felonies and how the mighty have fallen. That's crazy how that whole deal went.
But it's crazy, and then you have all these OnlyFans girls coming out and saying like, and like
it's hard to tell.
It's so hard to tell because they actually get, they have a reason to come out. They're going to get people looking up this marketing.
Yeah. So yeah, I would
take
that with a grain of salt.
Take it with a grain of salt for sure.
So all right, I got another good one.
Let's go.
This one drives me freaking crazy. Now, okay, now we're into my baseball ones. When a pitcher gives up, and I already told you about this, but when a pitcher gives up a home run, and the pitching coach comes out, and then the broadcasters say, "Oh, the pitching coach is coming out to settle him down." Okay, this guy doesn't need to be settled down. He's so used to this. He's pitched a bajillion pitches and innings in his life. He's been through the situation, and he's succeeded and been successful after the home run a million times in his life. He's so used to this, we can't even understand it. He doesn't need to be not rattled. Like 99% of the time, they're not rattled. They give up home runs, and they're used to it, and then they'll strike out the next guy. So I just think that's so overrated that the pitch. You know what the pitching coach is going out to say? He's going out to like talk about like how you're going to pitch to the next guy or strategy. They're not. He doesn't really need to be settled down. I mean, I can't imagine that.
Well, and if we think about it, like the more you sit and think about something, like if you're really doing it to settle them down, you're giving them a longer time for it to sink in to think about it versus just going back out there and throwing the next pitch.
That's a good point too. I never thought about that. Yeah, he's going to be stewing in it a few more minutes if you go out and talk to him about it. Okay, now just I can't imagine a pitching coach going, okay, now just settle down. It's like, dude, I'm 30.
I'm 30.
Like, good. I could see like high school
for sure.
How that would be might be needed to settle down. I know that I've gone out when I've coached baseball and I've been settling him. I've had to settle down people, but not with these like pros. Come on. So that one bugs me. Oh, here I got one more baseball one. When Zach McKinstry comes to mind, Lenny Dykstra, when they get their uniform dirty, and the broadcasters make a big deal about how he's like a gritty player, and how like lunch pail-ish he is, and all that kind of stuff. When his jersey is dirty, and what I think is he's had to slide. He slid, and then you know what? The guy whose jersey is clean, he didn't have to slide. That's the difference. It's not like the slidey guy is grittier and works harder than the guy who didn't have to slide. I just hate that. It's a
true story. I hate that too.
You can't deduce anything by how dirty someone's uniform is. I don't know. That drives me nuts.
You have commentators like analysts and journalists have had these jobs forever, and they come up to you after the game and say, "What does this win mean to you?"
That's a good one.
Can we not come up with a better question?
It means a lot.
It means a lot.
Yeah,
and that's what you usually get. You usually get just as half-assed an answer as you got a question, or you get players or coaches that roll their eyes, or that they're like, "I can't believe you asked that stupid question," and they get asked that question over and over and over again.
What does it mean to you? That's good. Yeah, that's true. It's like obvious.
What does this loss mean to you? Yeah. What does this win mean to you?
Reporter questions. That's good, yeah. A lot of times, like on the Lions, you can't even hear the reporters' questions on a lot of their press conferences. Do you listen to the Lions press conferences?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, lately it's been better, but like for a long time, and people always complain in the comments, I can't hear the question. Yeah, you can't hear the question, so yeah. That's another minor pet peeve of mine, is that you can't hear the reporter's question.
Yeah, because you have no idea what they're answering.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so that's kind of one of those that's like, you think they would have the technology, but I can sort of understand, because you'd have to like pass it around. Like logistically, it'd be kind of hard to like, because you don't want to mic up every single person who's at the press conference. I've never been to a press conference, but I would assume that's the problem, is that how do you pass the mic around and get it there in time and all that stuff.
Did you expect that you'd play this well? No.
Have you heard that one before?
No, I can't imagine that we actually had this good of a game. I've done this my whole entire life. It's shocking that I scored 20 points or I hit a home run.
Yeah. I think they're just trying to get him like, it'd be better if they were just like, talk.
Just talk.
Say words about the game. That's really, because there a lot of times they won't even answer, which is another one of my pet peeves, is when they don't even answer the question. And I have it on here. Here's one that's kind of appropriate to that. When the reporter asks 2 questions and the player answers the second question and just completely ignores the first question. Have you ever heard that? Have you noticed this before?
I notice this in normal everyday life. You can text somebody 2 questions and they'll answer the first one and completely ignore the first. Like my wife, I was talking about, she has this business where, and so she does a lot of design work, and she'll ask people 2 questions, both of them more important, and they'll answer one. And she's like, okay, how about the other?
Yeah.
Can you answer the other one too? Because I need to know both.
Yeah. Yeah, we ran into something like that today similarly. But yeah, at home. But yeah, it seems like in an interview, it's the second question that gets answered and the first question that doesn't. Especially like the younger the people are, like like college kids, players, athletes, they'll answer the second question. And I'm always like, answer the first one. No. I mean, just right there, just listen. Do the first one, and it's not that hard. They're not asking 3 or 4; they're asking 2. Just do first one or second one and first one. Do second one first and then the first one. It just seems so obvious to me, but
or just let them know that you're only going to answer one, and they need to pay you extra for the second question.
Right.
Like either way, make it fun. I don't know.
I'm just doing this interview so I won't get fined.
So I won't get fined. Marshawn Lynch with the Skittles.
Yeah, we were talking about something else. Yeah,
but he was like, he would show up and not do the interview.
Yeah, I'm here so I won't get fined.
He literally said that.
If like for every that was his answer to every question.
So, and I love this this question. I've heard it creative. The most creative. I'll tell you the most creative way I've heard it answered. But what were you thinking there? What were you thinking? And it's like, athletes are not thinking when they're running really fast.
Yeah.
It happened most recently with Jameer Gibbs when he broke a touchdown. Somebody asked him what he was thinking, and they're like, he's like, I don't know. I wasn't like, he wasn't thinking like, I'm gonna go get a sandwich after this. Like, like, oh, I wonder what my wife's doing. Like,
it's so instinctual.
It's so instinctual.
Like you're just going, you've just done this a lot, and you see a guy there, and it's all, you're not even thinking.
You're not thinking. Well, and so brings me to my most favorite way that question was answered was there's this documentary that Ahmad Rashad is interviewing Michael Jordan, and Ahmad Rashad takes Michael Jordan through his whole career, and it gets to this point when the last game with the Bulls against the Jazz, Michael Jordan crosses up Byron Russell. Byron Russell falls and he hits the jumper.
Byron. Are you sure? That was Bryan. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyways, either one. He falls over, and Ahmad Rashad like pauses it and is like, Michael, right here. Yeah. Tell me, what were you thinking? And Michael's like, if I was thinking, I would have like dribbled it in the corner. He was like, if I was thinking, I would have probably dribbled the ball off my foot. Yeah. He was like, I wasn't thinking. He's like, I've conditioned my body. I've conditioned myself through practice. He was like, he told this really cool story. He's like, when I was a rookie, we'd do these practices, and like and the winning team would get whatever reward. They'd get practice off or whatever. And he was like, I'd get my team up by a lot, and the coach would call a timeout, which was Doug Collins back then. He's like, the coach would call a timeout, and then he'd switch me and put me on the losing team. And he was like, at first it really pissed me off. He was like, it'd make me really mad, and I'd storm back and I'd win. He was like, then I realized the coach was just trying to condition me and pushing me to, it's not about me winning, it's about me going to another level. And so he's like, every day I played practice like I was playing for the championship game. He was like, so if you're practicing every day like you're playing for the championship, by the time you get to that actual game, he was like, there's no question about my ability. I know exactly what I'm able to do. And so I'm not thinking about it. My body's reacting naturally because I've practiced it over and over again.
Yeah, that's what practice is just getting your body used to, like golf. Like when I go to the driving range, I'm trying to just condition my swing to be exactly the same way every time. You're not going to do it, but you get as close as you can. Close as you can to the same, same thing every time. So you have consistency and everything else. So yeah, that's the that's what practice is all about, and that goes along with not thinking. You don't have time to think. You're just doing the thing that you're supposed to do to be successful, and that you've been practicing. So that's about it. Yeah, good one.
I just feel like there's so much more. Like when you're interviewing an athlete like a Michael Jordan or something, there's like they've experienced a lot. There's a lot more inside there than these surface level answers that we're getting. And if your job as a reporter or commentator is to entertain us and keep us wanting to watch, then let's provide a deeper level. Let's get something better than the watered down, stupid answers that you're getting because you're asking stupid questions.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's I wish they would listen. Oh, they should listen to you.
They should listen. We're going to tag them in.
Let's get these.
We're going to change the industry.
Yeah, that's right. Amen. Now, sometimes I get annoyed by fans, too. Fans bother me. Like, when they boo when the pitcher throws to first base. It's just part of the game. Like, who cares? Especially now, because they only do it once.
That. Yeah.
Like, who cares? He's throwing to first. It'll take 20 seconds.
I was saying, now you're penalized if you do it more than a couple times.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so it's just like, and I never, the booing in general, a lot of times, I don't understand. I'm not a booer. I think it says more about the booer than the booee.
I hit this guy on my podcast a couple of years ago, and he's a referee. He's a business consultant, but his other job, he's a referee for high school football in Texas. Mm-hmm. And so he's like talking about how serious football is in Texas. And he's had a lot of like famous coaches and stuff. He's like reffed and stuff, but he was like, the thing that you can tell, he's like, I can tell a winning coach versus a losing coach within a few seconds. He was like, the winning coach, winning coaches very rarely sit and will argue a call with you. He was like, because the game's a chess match. Like they're not going to sit and like spend all that time. He's like, this is just on to the next play. They got to get their players focusing on the next play. He was like, the coaches that are usually the worst are the ones that will sit and like argue with me and like, it's my fault, the reason why they're losing the game.
Yeah. Well, it's probably because they're pissed off they're losing. They're taking it out on the ref. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. So the booing, especially from fans, I don't understand that. So, or how about fans who yell at refs for like some small insignificant thing that they would never be able to see? Like there's a penalty, a face mask, and they're 500 feet away. They're never going to be able to see this. The ref is right there. The official is right there. He calls it whatever. And oh my gosh, like, yeah, the school that I go watch, very successful football program in Howell. And if we get a penalty thrown, it's like everyone thinks the refs are against us. Like the refs give a shit if Salem or Howell wins these 14-year-olds playing out there. They don't care. They're just trying to do the best they can in the game, have it be fair, get out of there, get paid, and go have a beer. That's all they give a shit about. They don't care about who wins. And this whole the booing and the whole yelling, you learn a lot about someone's character. I think when you're tested, and they're kind of the fans are being tested a little bit. Oh, here's some adversity. How are you going to handle this adversity? And a lot of them handle it very well.
When you talk about fans, I love this because like talking about especially high school, middle school, elementary kids, and you hear fans yelling, "Catch it!"
Yeah,
like you're supposed to catch that. Like, really, is he gonna catch it 100% of the time? Yeah. Like, like. Run this way, run that way. First off, they can't hear you.
Yeah.
And if they did, what way is that way? Like, like you're yelling from the stands is not helping them at all. You're not the PlayStation controller.
Right. Yeah. I know. That's a good point. Yeah. It's just the fans. Yeah. So
there's actually a really cool mock video out there of a dad that's like yelling these like, what do you mean you didn't catch it? You're 5 years old. You're supposed to catch it 100% of the
time. Yeah, they make fun of that. I love those when they make fun of that, like on TikTok or whatever, where they're making fun of the dumb.
Like basketball. Fans. Oh my God, shooting threes. Like NBA threes, you're good if you're shooting 36%. Our kids are not going to shoot 10%.
Yeah.
Like to think they're going to make it that many, half the time, you're delusional.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Timmy's not going to the NBA. he's in Howell, Michigan. If he goes to the NBA, good for you.
Yep. Or when they boo when the pitcher throws it a little high, like up like a little bit of chin music, but not even in, just high, and they boo. They're trying to hit our guy. He threw it a little high. I'm amazed at they give him too much credit. They give the pitchers too much credit. Like they can't throw every single pitch exactly how they want, and they almost never want to hit somebody.
Types of pitches they're throwing. Like, look at the movement and the velocity. Keyword velocity. The velocity some of these pitches have. Yeah. You know, like you watching as a fan, you see the ball going straight, and then it does like this. You know, this curve. How do you control that 100% of the time?
Yeah, I know it's. Takes a lot of practice, Jason, like we're talking about, for sure.
But you got the, Leon at home on his couch that can throw a pass perfect, like, or throw a ball perfect.
Throw a ball a quarter mile over those mountains.
Could all been different, Napoleon. Could all been different.
If they would have put me in 82 in the third quarter in States.
I could have went pro.
Yep.
Got to Uncle Rico in the van.
Yeah, that's right.
In the field, throwing the ball.
I love how he's videotaping himself.
Shoot.
He's like the first podcaster. The OG.
I wonder where he was sending that tape. That was man, what a movie. That was I remember like when that movie came out and like they're doing the Happy Hands. And I remember sitting through those like types of assemblies through school, the Happy Hands and
nobody, and it's so funny because I didn't like it the first time I saw it. And I've talked to a lot of other people who had the same impression. I remember I was with a bunch of people in Lansing at an apartment and we were watching it. I remember being like, what is this? It's so bizarre. I did not like it at all. And then the second time you like a little more, and now I absolutely love it.
It's so funny, man.
It's so quotable. There's so many great things. It's got a good message, actually.
It's got a really good message.
Really good message at the end. And yeah. And everybody, I've heard so many other people say the same thing. They didn't like it at first.
So it was one of those movies. I remember at the beginning, people were like, "You're either going to love it or hate it." And I loved it out of the gate.
Really?
It's my type of humor. And it reminded me of elementary school to some degree, middle school, kind of. But man, when he comes in with the moon boots and does the dance at the end.
We went to the Redford Theater in Detroit, and they showed it. Have you been to the Redford Theater? Oh, my God. It's right at Lasser and Grand River, and they show old movies, all kinds of different kinds of movies, and it's old-fashioned theater, and they showed it, and then they had Uncle Rico, Napoleon, and Pedro. Those three were there, and they came out, and they did a Q&A, and they did a little dance, and they sang, and they did this like rap thing. So they showed the film, then after all those three guys came up on stage and talked to everybody. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what they do at the Redford Theater. They have like people come in and like they showed To Kill a Mockingbird, and Scout, who is one of my favorite books.
Yeah,
she came and
shout out to Mystic Gazette.
Yeah, that's right. What was her name? Mrs.
Glenda Gazette.
Gazette. Yeah. Yep, I had her twice. I had her for rhetoric my junior year, and then English, whatever. I think my freshman year.
Okay.
Sophomore
year.
Yeah.
I had her my sophomore year.
Sophomore and junior, I believe it was.
At college prep, something English, something.
Yeah. That's what I had my sophomore year.
And I'll always remember To Kill a Mockingbird and her because it was her favorite all-time book. And she read a book and did the voices.
And she had that super old book that was all falling apart. At least I don't know if you remember that, but she used the same book for like a million years, reading it to everybody. Yep.
She was one of my favorite all-time teachers. She's awesome. And we're friends on Facebook, and she's constantly organizes. In fact, she just organized a birthday card run for Mr. Caruso.
I see those all the time.
Yeah. I actually did one for Mr. Caruso because
that's great.
He was my driver's training instructor. I had him at least twice for regular bio and then senior bio. And what else was he?
He did freshman, like you would have biology for like a quarter, and then you'd have physics for a quarter.
Oh, that's right.
That.
That's right.
He did that. Everybody had to do a little bit of that.
The 3, yeah.
The 4, yeah.
Yeah, or 4, yeah. Yep.
Crusoe, he was the man.
Oh, I liked him a lot. And he was a baseball coach. We always had a good baseball team.
And he was the varsity basketball coach for a million years. Like when I was a kid, we used to go when I was little.
Okay.
And they had some good teams. Like when I was like second, third grade, and we would go and watch him. So I was always like kind of in awe of him. And then I had him when I was a freshman, and then so then my freshman year also,
Yes,
I had him as
say.
the baseball team went
We
to the
went
Final Four.
Yeah.
And I went and I followed. My parents, they took me. I followed like almost every one of those games we went to, because the whole district would be in like 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
And then because you can play multiple games, it's not like basketball. You just play one game a day. You could play 2 or 3. So they made it all the way. They just kept winning. They were awesome, and they went all the way to the Final Four, and they lost. It was a very close game. They barely lost to Southgate Anderson.
I remember they had a great team. I remember Mike Lorenz was a starter as a freshman. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, B.J. Smith was their pitcher with Smith and Jason Britton.
Did BJ go play some college somewhere?
I don't know. He was kind of small, but
he was
like I looked up to him a lot because he's such a great athlete. He was the quarterback on the football team and stuff. But
and then his brother Troy was right after us. He was the quarterback.
Younger. He wasn't a quarterback, but he was.
Was he not the quarterback?
No.
Troy?
Nope, he was a receiver.
Receiver, okay.
Yeah. So like, yeah, and then you remember Brad Weedman? He was another good player. Joel Dome. Joel Dome was a quarterback.
Yep.
He was the catcher on those teams. So
yep.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then that got me into playing baseball. So then I played baseball my sophomore year, which was the year after that. I played JV baseball. One of the greatest moments ever was when I made that team.
No kidding.
In Mr. Crusoe's classroom, coincidentally enough, we were talking about this. We're sitting in there watching a video, like we did tryouts, and then at the end of the tryouts, Bill McCarrick was our coach. Was my all-time favorite coach. He had us all watching a video, and then he called us in one by one into his office to tell us if we made the team or not, which I think is a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Where other times for basketball, they would just post
it on the list.
Yeah. So, okay, I got to this quick story that I've told. So for basketball, my freshman year, I go through all the tryouts. A million kids are on it, or trying out. So now it's the day of when they're gonna post it. So I'm so nervous. I've never been so nervous in my entire life. Up until now, I've never been this nervous. So I'm going in and I'm like, I don't want to see anybody when I'm talking, because it's kind of a long walk from the parking lot. You got to like walk all the way down past the gym, and then you turn right and you go down to the locker room. So we're walking. I'm not trying not to talk to anybody, and people are walking by and stuff, and I don't want anybody to see me. I remember Josh Pickle?
Yeah.
Josh Pickle goes, Baker, you didn't make it. Look, so now it's like, oh shit, is this true? Is it not? And now I'm like really dying. I go, and he was right, I didn't make it. So yeah, that was that, and I didn't even make the
because
first
the list
cut.
was on the table. Yeah.
So he knew, and somehow I don't know, but so anyway, I didn't make it in the first cut. My sophomore year, I made it. I made the first cut, but I didn't make the second cut, which was fine because I think that was probably right, but that was I'll never forget that. So yeah.
So then baseball, you got pulled in the office and they had individual conversations.
Yeah. And then he just came in and said, okay, so and the way he did it was he had a list. He had like ranked, like there's different like throwing ability, hitting, whatever. He had different attributes, and then he like ranked us all or gave us all a certain number of points, and then at the end he put like the total amount, and then he just took the top whatever, and like there's a cutoff, and he had numbers or whatever. You couldn't see the other kids who they were. Like so he would just say you're number 12, and you would look and see 12, and then you'd go over and see if you're above or below the line. So I was above the line. I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy shit. And I remember the other kid, and then going back, and I guess we left after that. But I remember sitting there all nervous, waiting for me to be called, and other kids would come out and like be happy or be sad. It was because they had to come back and get their stuff before they left, so we could see everybody who's going to make it or not. And I could tell you who I remember specifically if they were being pretty upset that they
yeah.
Felt pretty bad for some of the kids. So yeah.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. But I think that helps you in the long run going through that. Another thing that helps me is being in band and in other sports too. But for some reason, being a band, like when I would be in job interviews to be a teacher, I would think, well, shit, I played at Spartan Stadium as a bud, and you're just being nervous, doing stuff when you're nervous. That's what I think helped me going through that in high school, like marching or running in a race or playing golf and playing baseball and track, like doing stuff where you're nervous, like, oh, okay, the thing's about to start, and you're having those things and you still perform even though you feel this way. Like that's the stuff that I think really helps. And then I was able to do it, and I was pretty successful getting jobs. you know, I got most of the ones I wanted. So
Man, that's the thing. And I think a lot of times as parents, like, it sucks when your kid gets cut. It sucks when you get cut as a kid. It's as a parent, you don't want your kid to be brokenhearted like that. When Jackson got cut from the basketball team, I was like, oh man, I felt so bad for him. But man, that stuff, it does build that character. You do like. All of those experiences create something. For me, I didn't try out for I got cut 7th grade. I didn't try out again, even though I loved playing basketball. I was like, oh, I'm not good enough. And then I never tried out again for basketball. And so when Jackson was like growing up, I'm like, man, if you love something, don't hold yourself back from it. Worried about what other people are going to think, or thinking that you're not good enough. Like, just go out and do it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good message. Another one in golf is kind of cool. So in golf, the way they did it was you just played 18 holes and they just took your score. And then the next day you come out and you play 18 more holes and they just took your score. And the best scores got it. Yeah. So if somebody who's good had a bad game, they're not going to make it, which was really kind of ballsy on the coach's part, hoping that these good players have good rounds during tryouts. But that's the way he did it. So
you're kidding. The best guy has his worst round.
Like So, but I remember it was 2 18-hole rounds, I think. So after 36 holes, it should probably come out in a wash, but it could, there could be times when, you're like Billy Fitzgerald was our best golfer, and if he had a bad round, then we'd be in trouble. But anyway, what he would have done. But what he did was, okay, so they were taking 6, the top 6 guys. So we're all done, and it's up by the country club, by the clubhouse, and he's looking at it, and he's like looking at all the scores, and I'm 7th, and he's only taken 6. I thought, fuck, I'm barely missing. I see it. I can see that I'm not going to make the team. This is horrible. And he looks at it and goes, we'll take 7. And he let me stay. That was my junior. I think that was my junior year. And I said, thanks, coach. So then later the kids make fun of me. Yeah, thanks, coach. Like, that was like my tagline. So
thanks, coach.
I was so glad. I remember going home to my dad and telling him. And he goes, oh, my God. I remember him saying, I had a bad feeling all day about this, about the tryout. He didn't think I was going to, he had a bad feeling for some whatever reason. I'm like, no, I made it. So that was cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
But you talk about pressure. Golf, man. Yeah, golf so pressures.
Nervous. I remember, in the 18th hole and hitting a shot. I don't know if it was that particular time, but the 18th hole at the country club, dogleg left, par 4, hitting a shot and being so nervous and having to hit a good shot. And, a lot of times you do. So, because you've done it, I just always tell myself, I've done this 10,000 times. Just do your thing,
Yeah. So I mean, you grew up playing golf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How old were you when you started golfing?
Like 10 or 11.
Okay.
Yeah. That's just my dad did. My dad played golf in high school. They won the little conference championship when he was in high school too. So he would always pull me out, and I love it. I love it. I probably love it more now than I ever have. So,
fun. I didn't play until I was 29.
Okay.
29 or 30.
A lot of people.
It was like I had to do it for business networking.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people get into it with. Absolutely.
And
nothing wrong with that.
Then I was like, oh, I like this. I like doing the business networking thing. Mm-hmm. And then I would show up every time and have to apologize to people like, I suck. I'm like, I know. I apologize for being here. And then my competitiveness was like, I can't keep showing up and having to apologize for how bad I suck. So I'll keep playing. And, I still suck. But that's golf, right?
You get better. I'm sure you've gotten better, though. Right?
Much, much better. Mm-hmm. To the point where it's an addiction. Like, it's one of those things. Like, I really enjoy playing. If I'm in the middle of my day and somebody says, do you want to golf? I will contemplate how I can get out of the rest of my appointments.
That's awesome. Good for you. I love it. And I like playing I don't know if you ever do this, but sometimes I go up by myself and play. It's just sometimes it's hard to gather people. And I was proud of myself though. Last spring I got my next door neighbor who said he golfs. I said, hey, and I don't really know him that well, but I was just like, I texted him. I said, hey, you want to go play golf tomorrow or whatever? And I was like, what's he gonna say? And he's like, yeah, let's go. And I said, okay, I got a tea time, blah, blah, blah. So I'll never forget the next morning, I'm getting up, going to my car. He's already out at his truck. Like, he's got his bag out. He's ready to go, way before we're supposed to be leaving. He was all excited about it because he has 2 kids and he just wants to get the hell out of there.
Oh, yeah.
For a little bit.
He's like, we don't need to go early? Yeah, you want to get breakfast first?
Kinda. So we had a good time. Playing out in Weberville. You ever played at Weberville before?
The Oak Lane.
Yep.
Yeah. That we just stumbled on this course this year, and we played a whole lot because it's super cheap. Super cheap Twilight.
There?
You can pull up at like $6.45
at Oak Lane.
Oak Lane, and it's like $15 though for as many as you can get in. Yeah.
We were in a league out there for a lot of years. Then the league closed down, and then we moved over to Williamston. So we're playing over at one of the Williamston courses, Brookshire.
Brookshire, okay.
Yeah.
So we were playing at Oak Lane last year, and it was it was this year. It was during the fall. It was the first football game. So it was August. It was that first football game for Weberville High School. And first off, you drive by the football field on your way to the golf course. Like you poke us. So we're driving by and you can see it's Friday Night Lights football. People at the football game. And like we're getting down the end of the hole, and like their speaker system's booming. Like they're playing music. I'm like, man, this is a football. Like you can hear it through the whole entire golf course. Them booming their music, and we drove by and they were losing like 48-0, and then Weberville ended up forfeiting their season. They literally like quit their season because they sucked so bad.
I think I heard about this.
They just like gave up. Like all their players quit, and they had to forfeit like the last 3 or 4 games.
When you're at a tiny school like that, that can happen. Now, I wonder if they're playing 8-man or 11-man.
They're 8. They're
8. Okay.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of 8-man. Like I know Morris is 8-man. There's not a whole lot of 8-man football around here, but there's some. Like up in the UP, it's mostly 8-man.
Yeah. Yep.
Like my buddy, my old boss from the Y, his son is a good football player. He's a junior this year for Brimley, and that. So I kind of kept an eye on that. So yeah, it's Weberville. Shout out to the Spartans.
Oh, they are the Spartans, Weberville Spartans.
A guy in my golf league was the 5th grade teacher at Weberville. I think they only had one. They might have had two for every grade. So, but then he moved down to Florida. But yeah, he would come over and talk to me all the time because I was teaching kindergarten at the time. So what was his name? I forget his name, but he would come over and talk to me about fifth, and it was during COVID. So it was like, how many days a week you're going into school? That's right. And so he would stop and pull his golf cart over while we were playing and be like, hey, what's going on? How many days a week you got to work and all that kind of stuff. So it's fun.
Dude, this is fun.
Yeah.
Do you have any closing ones to finish off with?
Yes. Let's see here. Where's some good ones? I hit most of my good ones. But let's see. Players. Oh, how about this? When players in college touch down, like they touch a player who caught the ball, like he catches it on his knees, everybody know he's down, but they touch him anyway. He's already down. You know the rule.
Yeah.
Or when the quarterback, Matthew Stafford will kind of do underhander. Mahomes does that, where they're kind of scrambling and there's people all over, and they do like an underhand pass.
Yep.
And then it's incomplete, and then somebody runs over and picks it up and starts running the other way.
Starts run every time.
So, dude, it doesn't matter how you throw it. It's forward. It's an incomplete pass, no matter what you do.
I always wonder why the players are so confused. You've played this game your whole career. Why are you picking up the ball? You know that's not a live ball.
That's so dumb. Yeah, so that's one of mine. It's funny because I have some stuff that the fans do, some stuff the broadcasters do, some stuff that the players do. Most of it's broadcasters, though.
Yeah, broadcasters are. It's brutal because I wanted to be a broadcaster forever, and even like a journalist. Like then you look at the way a lot of it is. It's just like it's corporate. It's fake.
Yeah, we've touched on that today. Corporate and fake.
Corporate and fake it is.
Yeah. So, I think I have most of mine. I'm like going through it. I'm like, we talked about that. Oh, here's a good one. Okay, so Michigan State basketball. The play-by-play guy's name is Will Tiemann.
Yep.
He's been doing it forever. He's an old guy.
Old guy.
He used to say, and somebody on the radio did it perfect. It was so funny, but imitated him, and he would do roughly when he would say the score. He would go like this. He would say, Michigan State, 42. Michigan, 40. So then it's hard to like figure out
which one is which.
Because he would do the pauses not where you should do the pauses. He would do the pauses weird. So he would say like, whatever, I just did it. So it was just, that would be one annoying Will Tiemann thing.
Well, and we'll end it on a positive is Dan Miller. That guy's the goat.
I love,
man.
Mm-hmm.
We were for Gracie's birthday. We were coming back from Traverse City and we listened to the whole entire Lions game, and it was like I would almost rather listen to the Lions game on the radio. He's that great. Good. Like he is so good.
Do you watch on YouTube where they do the highlight video? The highlight of him, and then the guy with the post-it notes is in the foreground.
Dude, the post-it notes guy. They did like a whole special on him.
And he holds it up. Sometimes I feel bad for him because Dan will like ignore him. He's like holding up says, and Dan is just like talking to other people and doesn't even acknowledge the post-it guy. He's got all these, and then I think, well, could there be a better way to do it other than the post-its? Wasting all those post-it notes, like a whiteboard. Can we get him a whiteboard?
You'd blow this guy's mind. He'd be so mad. Like, no, this is the way we do it. It's this process. Someone's going to make it more efficient though, and he's going to be out of a job.
I saw like a documentary, but just a little piece on him before.
They just recently did one. Yeah. Like they did a highlight on him,
which is kind of cute.
It's funny. It's a post-it note guy made it on TV.
That's right. And Lomas is in the back. He's good too.
Dude, Lomas has got that buttery voice. You know, like he's got
very like a southern. He's from Florida, so he's a slow.
Yeah.
Kind of way that he talks, but it's very. He's great.
That team is great for sure.
Yep.
We've talked about this. I'm a fan of Benetti too, and I'm a fan of his nerdiness and like how he like he really gets into the weeds sometimes, and I like that. I know a lot of there's some people like the old school guys that we were talking about that don't like that.
Yeah, that turns some people off. Everybody's going to every single broadcaster will have their fans, and you just got
again, I look for the things that are outside of the box, and I'm sure he does some of the things that we've listed that bug us, but he mostly stays outside and does his own stuff.
Yep. So
has some originality.
All right,
this is killer.
Yeah, this is a good one.
This is a good one.
All right.